guys, it's the ninth here. I'm here with my boy Highland. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
If you guys don't know Highland, he is a competitive OCG player that I get to connect with often. And today we're going to deep dive a little bit into the new OCG ban list. So starting off, we're going to go from the unlimited. As those who know me well, I play a grass Eldritch deck, so having redstone is good for the deck. How are you feeling about the new Phantom Knights card coming back?
I'm happy for the Phantom Knights player, not happy for me receiving what's about to happen when it comes back.
And what do you think about Enchantress, because there's no Griffin anymore in the OCG?
Yeah, I think it kind of sucks that the in-archetype strategy is kind of dead without Griffin, but I do like the fact that it's coming back. Her effect, to be able to just send it, is a pretty useful effect to get you a free token. And I do like the combo with the continuous spell, the token, and then going straight into the equip card. I could see somewhat them still being splashed in some decks that might want to link climb somehow. It can be somewhat utilized. I don't think it can be abused without Griffin, so that kind of RIP.
Yeah, I mean, you and I discussed it earlier, but I'm going to enjoy putting it in a normal monster-based deck because it's just a free normal monster and the equip card is pretty decent.
Yeah, for sure. I think it will definitely have good cases in the normal deck.
Next, we'll go into double Iris. So I love Pendulum Magicians, but right now, Pendulum Magicians aren't really in a good spot. They're just not as good anymore. Now they're playing the Draco Slayers, but that doesn't have a lot of space for the Pendulum Graph cards. But it is a pretty decent card to have at 3 if you're playing the Pure Magician deck. Do you want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, next one, which one's, oh, ABC, right? My friend ABC, I'm really curious, I'm happy that it's at 3 right now. I think it's probably outclassed a little bit, based on cards that came out while it was away. I'm interested to see how it can survive in the new format, and basically see how it can survive with Darker Lunar Moors, evenly matches. Every card that wasn't here when it was here when it wasn't here. I want to see how the deck changes, and I'm curious to see if people do play it, if it's going to turn into like a go second type of deck. I am definitely curious about that. I do like their effects. I do like what they can do, and I wonder if they can actually come back from this. I've seen some decks do it, but I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely not as powerful anymore to just banish a card on the field, right? So
yeah,
like before, yeah, you could kill a combo, but here it's not as powerful. And yeah, I'm wondering how, it has all the pieces back. I'm wondering if it's gonna burn out pretty quickly. Like if you're summoning 3 ABC Dragon Busters, if you just lose the duel at that point.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out. I guess we'll find out in January, but I have somewhat hopes for it. I for some reason I still do. Like, banishing is still a thing right now. Like, at least as far as the last, prior to this new ban list coming in January, banishing has been the most hurtful way to hurt your opponent, given how Terra Lament has basically taken over the format.
Yeah, and it's a good rank 4 deck too, so if you can get a good, Bagustka or Abyss Dweller as well as ABC on the field, then yeah, I think you can establish a pretty decent board. But I think if I were going to play, I'd probably play like a heavy trap version, like ABC Dragon Buster, 2 traps, and like a card in hand kind of movement.
That would be cool. I'm interested.
And it works with Skill Drain. I just remembered that.
Oh, yes, it does.
Because you can activate the banish effect and then tribute it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have, if you have the one that protects it from trap cards equipped to it, then it's unaffected by Skill Drain.
That is true.
Yeah, I think I would be excited to see it going forward, but yeah, I'm not sure how viable it is right now.
Yeah, I currently feel bad for most fusion decks right now.
All the fusion hates?
Yeah, like I mean, the most of the fusion hate is gonna be going towards like, you know, Terralamant and Brandish, because they got like the most force-fed like power like from Konami, the gods of the game. They definitely gave those two decks the most love. So I wonder how it will survive with all the fusion hate. But when banishment starts to decrease a little bit, as far as like defissure and macros and what's her name, D-shifter, yeah, once those start slowing down, we'll see if Buster can do his thing.
Cool. I will move on to our semi-limits. It's a pretty big list.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of happy that I haven't had to play against a Trickstar deck in a while. Especially because it's usually just Trickstars and then end phase Scapegoat. But you have this core, right? The Trickstar core?
Trickstars? Yes, I do. I still actually have them on my desk. I had a Trickstar Alistair. So Trickstar Invoked rather. And I really liked the Trickstar Invoked when Dragoons was here. Oh my god, like getting two monsters on the field to go into Verte Anaconda was just like such spice, because you already have the answer. Like if you draw Alistair, you have the answer to make a really powerful board. Two negates Merkaba and Dragoons were like lethal. But RIP OCG. But yes, back to the Trickstar Lightsage. I really like that card. I do like that it can actually put in some work on trap decks as well, because of the effect to force an activation or lock the card for the turn is really cool. I like that. I like that it searches on activation also. Getting a card to your hand to facilitate the plays is really powerful, because I think their trap card, I mean, it's still limited, but their trap card is still really powerful even in today's game. Just banishing someone's hand. Yeah, you can draw more cards back, but like at the right time, it can still be devastating. I'm happy.
There's only one. There's only one copy of the trap card in the OCG though, so.
Yeah, there's only one. Yeah, but I'm happy to see like the deck get support, because that one can still go all the way. Because at best, it gives you a banishment of their hands if they search things to it, and it also gives you an extra way to get a monster to the field. It is at one. But the field card is probably the bread and butter, because you can actually burn someone for a lot of damage consistently now that you have more than just one of the field cards.
Cool. Let's move on to our weird, interesting semi-limits, Foolish Burial Goods and Raigeki. So it's interesting. There's a lot of decks that don't really play negates anymore, and I can see the value of semi-limiting Raigeki. What's going on with Foolish Burial Goods though?
That I'm still trying. Like, I'm not too sure what's going on with Foolish Burial Goods. I'm trying to figure out what in my head. I'm like thinking of all the decks that are out right now, and maybe I'm missing something or overlooking it. But I'm not too sure what is the biggest play that you could send to the graveyard as a magic and trap to get a whole combo started. I can't even think of it right now.
And it has, the once per turn clause, so it's not, like broken if you have 3 in your hand. In fact, if you have 3 or 2 in your hand, that's not going to be a good turn for you, right? So
dead. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something. Is there a cool Labyrinth combo that I'm not thinking of right now? Like, I'm like, what am I missing? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Labyrinth Tramp card has, a graveyard effect, but it's not broken by any means.
Broken? Yeah. I remember we were talking earlier and you were saying that it could be a preemptive hit. That is an interesting thing. I would love to see what else is coming or cooking in Konami's lab coming out in the next 3 months or so for them to preemptively limit this card.
Yeah, we'll have to see in March then with the next list, March or April, and see what's changed by then.
Yeah, we should be getting two. We're getting something this Christmas, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to
Um,
be, yeah, core set, right? Or are you talking about
yeah.
the anniversary archive or whatever?
But is that gonna have any new cards? Not that I remember, right? Just reprints.
Not the archive, no. I think
Yeah, just
there's
reprints.
too many products coming out now, so.
Yeah, I know. I need to go take a look at the list and see what's going on with what's coming out. Because I think there's like 3 or 4 things coming out before the next list drops. So it'll be interesting if they add some trap cards or magic cards or spell cards rather, that can do something impactful while being in the grave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me move on to. I've never played when Infernity was a deck. It seems like this is a really broken card, but like ABC, it might be way too late for it to come back. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I think the deck overall is good. This card coming back is helpful, but like, I don't know. Like, if they went first, maybe I could see some wonderful Infernity Barrier for life. But yeah, I think they're outclassed as well. They're kind of in the same bucket as ABC Buster. They're a little bit outclassed, but they have really good capabilities with no cards in hand. But I feel like the decks that are currently out now can still get them a strong run for their money. And their recyclability is hurt by how like we were talking, or like I was saying earlier about the banishment that's happening right now. Like, a lot of decks are running cards that banish cards or do things that ban. Even Buster himself could give them a little bit of a hard time. But yeah, I'm glad that they're getting cards back though. Maybe they can be good for people who are nostalgic.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, same talk with the adventure cards. It's good to just get these cards off the list now that Griffin's banned, and hopefully people can just play a pure adventure deck at their locals or with their friends.
Yeah. Yes, I think so too. Hopefully they make like a redo, like make a baby Griffin that just works with adventure cards on the field or something. That way the deck can at least get its negate, because I feel like they need something. But as of right now, yes, I clap for them getting back cards.
Do you think the Griffin would be fair if it had a clause that, you can only control adventure token or monsters that have adventure token in their card text to activate its negate effect or whatever?
Because like it technically has like a requirement right now. Like, with the way it was built, it had a requirement. The issue is that you can get it onto the field and get the requirement met, like all within one card. Like, within a 1 card combo, you can facilitate getting the token, getting Griffin, and having an Omni negate in any deck. I think it has to change. Like, the errata would have to include it not having any other non-in archetype card on a monster on the field in order to activate, for it to be like back and not cause a problem to be splashed in every other deck.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on. Yada de Grata, like, I don't think anyone's going to play that. Your thoughts?
1000% nostalgia. The Yada Lock used to do me damage. I like spirit cards. I wish that they got more support after the Shino birds. Like, I saw Konami was like trying to revive spirits a little bit by splashing them with rituals, but like, this card at 3, I don't even know why it's semi-limited. Like, it should be at 3. I don't know what's the fear. Like, there's not much that Yada can do in the current game to lock you out of your deck. Like, no. It's way nostalgic. It should be at 3. I think Konami's just joking around at this point.
Fair enough. My lady Kagari, I think, is nice to have Kagari back at 2. I don't enjoy playing against the deck, but I don't think the deck is good enough right now to make a huge difference. But it has a few new cards. I know a few that you're looking forward to, right?
Yes. The what was it? Was it a level 3, I believe? The new one that comes in the manga. Like they released a OCG stories. Oh, well, I said level 3. I'm so off. It's a level 6. The level 6 water monster, 22 attack, 1,000 defense. Really cool that it can get back one of your banished spells. I love the fact that it closed the loop on the deck, cuz like whenever they get banished, you know, that's it. You can't really get those cards back. And of course, in both OCG and TCG, Engage is like I don't think it's ever going back to 3. So but yeah, so I'm happy, very happy with Kagari. I'm glad with that, specifically the level 6 monster that's coming in the manga, the OCG stories. The deck needs back all of its cards. I think it's really powerful. I think it will always be pretty good. The fact that they're like all waifus is another good selling point for Konami. So I don't see them not doing little things here and there to give the deck spice. I think it's amazing that they made a deck that just relied on one monster. I mean, now there's a whole bunch, but I think it was just really great just having this one monster do all these different things and having all these cards support it. I think it's a really interesting and cool archetype since inception. And just to rant on this one a little bit, I like the idea of bringing the card back to support them because, you know, of course, Konami wants money. But I like the idea of bringing this card back and also doing it in a way that fans can like. Like this whole idea of bringing it back while giving us new cards with the manga and telling a story and giving us more in-depth. This concept is really good. And I really hope that they start doing it with other archetypes where we just get a whole bunch of mangas surrounded by a specific archetype and just go through that whole lore. Like, that is a really cool concept. I would not be surprised if they actually start doing series, like separate OCG series, and each series is named after whatever the key monster or theme is. Like, I like it. And I like Sky Striker, so yes. More, please. Give us 3.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
they got the new spell cards. They got the new Link 2 that lets you pop a card. Like,
Yes.
I don't know if this deck's ever gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, like I was already amazed when they made the quick play spell card to make you like extra summon and gave them an in archetype kaiju. Like, wow. All I can say is thank you for giving them support, and the fact that they can do this gives me hope for that they can do this with other decks, because I never saw them giving them in archetype kaiju that they can use to drop on you. Next thing they're gonna get like an in archetype like lava golem. I would be like, yeah, tributing 2 of your monsters. Let's go. But yeah, I like it.
Cool. Moving on, we have I gotta let you go the swap frog route.
No, I mean, that card. I have to state that I love frogs as a whole. I've played every frog type of deck there was, from frogs by themselves, frog driver with mass driver before it got banned. Frog monarchs, Paleozoic frogs. Just love those cards as a whole. I'm really amazed and surprised that Swap Frog has never been eroded. Well, it got eroded once finally, but that the effects is still staying strong. And I'm sad to see it at 2, but I think honestly, even now at 3, like losing Totally Awesome will always hurt frogs. And it kind of sucks because they got hurt for being so useful with Sprite. So, yeah, it hurts. It really hurts. But Sprite definitely gave them the attention they needed to be back in the game again. And Sprite also got them neutered in the game again. I'm hoping that Konami will continue to support the deck. Every once in a while, they've made cards to support it. The last one was a little disappointing. What's the name in Japanese? I think it's like I don't remember the name. It's the frog is like black and white and it looks lazy. It's like
Oh yeah,
not
yeah, 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 yeah. I do know. I do
the
remember what
name
you're
was
talking
weird.
about.
Like it had like some pun like in Japanese.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Like
about, but
like trade or I forgot the name. It's not trade frog, but I forgot the name. But anyhow, I'm hoping they get more support. I'm really sad that this is getting semi-limited, but in all honesty, like at any level, it's kind of useless in archetype. With Splite, I think without in OCG at least, without Totally Awesome, I don't really see much of it being an engine. I am happier for the TCG over the OCG's list because at least they got back Subsea Toad, which is a good in archetype card that would even help this card facilitate even more. So I'm hoping we get that on the next ban list if Swap Frog survives the next one. But yeah.
yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm gonna go on Galatea, and I'm gonna say it's gonna get the same treatment as like ABC Dragon Buster, where I think it's a little too late because the Orcus combo is usually sending one of your cards to the graveyard and negating and banishing a card, and that's about it. But it's a welcome addition, and it lets you play past just your first turn. Anything on Orcus?
No, I think you covered it. Like then I want to see I want to see if they are going to get some like sudden support because it looks like Konami's on that wave right now. But the way they are, yeah, coming back is cool, but not something that I would be afraid of or worried about as far as competitive play at the moment. Yeah.
But I did love that format where it was like like Orcus versus like Salmon grade. Like that was a good time to play, I think.
That was crazy. Yeah, same. And I actually hope for that type of just like how Trap Tricks just got their deck. I like the idea of where you can just buy 3 packs and make the deck for the most part and go ahead and play. Like that idea is pretty cool where anyone could pick up the deck. I mean, you do get stuck with the format where people are playing the same things for the most part. But I do like that idea where you can just spend like a little bit, get an entire deck practically made by getting triple of cards and playing and using a lot of skills to outplay your opponent and things like that. But yeah, a format that you were mentioning with Orcus and Salmon Great, yeah, that was good times. Good times.
All right, we're going to move to the limited section.
Yay.
So everyone's lovely branded fusion. My thoughts are it's fair at 1, it's searchable, and you can get it from the graveyard. What's your experience with branded fusion?
I agree with you. It should stay at 1. I wish it was at 0. I like the deck, and but I hate how much love it got. Like, I don't know what happened, but Albaz was the start, and like this is the finish. Like they've given everything around this archetype a lot of love. A matter of fact, piggybacking on what I said earlier about Sky Strikers, I would not be surprised if they did the same concept that they did with Sky Strikers with everything in the branded lore. I would not be surprised. You can quote me for now. Let's see if it happens.
Well, it's weird how the card that's surrounded is the card you don't want to draw the most.
Isn't that funny? It's like a reverse, it's like an inverted, Alistair.
Yeah, I guess so, if you say it like that.
Yeah.
You want to see the Alistair, but you do not want to see Fallen of Albaz in your hand, that's for sure.
At all. Yeah.
So, I'm not really too surprised about this, the cash tier field spell getting limited. It just lets you search for any of the monsters.
Same. I think this is where it should be. And, yeah, that's all I'll say. I agree with you, and I definitely think at one is good.
Moving on, Change of Heart. I mean, I was expecting this. I actually bought a copy really cheap. It was like $3, I think. I'm gonna see if I can resell it now that it's officially off the list, and some people are probably gonna want to get their hands on it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I'm actually surprised with this card and mind mind control.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like they should just be at three. I don't know how. I think they should be at three. Honestly, I'm not sure like the full fear on them anymore. Like the way games are going now, it's almost like taking a person's monster.
Well, I think it's more value now taking opponent's monster because you can just use it for a Link Fusion, Synchro Summon, or whatever.
True, but like, so as far as tactical talents goes, because it has three of the most broken effects, one of them being Change of Hearts, built into it. Most of the times that people are activating it, like 66% of the time, out of the three effects, they're going for the draw too.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, so it's like that, and it, like, if I saw an uptake on people using that first effect, or not the first effect, using the effect to take a monster, then I'll be like, okay, I could see there's already a precedence and precedence and a fear of this thing being the go-to, and it's changing the way the game is playing in a negative way. But I don't know. I think if they put it at three, they'll be surprised to see that it doesn't get played. It's kind of like Dark Hole being at three.
I think it would be played at three if there's a lot of mirror matches and you could use your opponent's monster for an appropriate summon or effect or whatever.
Yeah. You know what? If this card had came back during the beginning era of Links, that's where it would be a problem. Like, I think it's really impactful taking someone's, like, Link 2 or higher. Like, that right there. Yeah.
I'll give you that one. Yeah. I'm not worried about Steam Cloak, but it is an interesting card to bring back, especially if Synchro Summoning or Link Climbing gets more popular again.
Yeah. I like Blackwings as a whole. I love their armored, having like this whole protection and unaffected by. I do like it. I wonder how far they'll go with any cards in that archetype or cards as a whole that generates tokens. Mm-hmm. Like, I really wonder. I'm actually curious to go back to what we saw earlier on the list, which was the adventure cards. The token generating cards, I wonder how they're going to take them. They're still kind of like a little eerie space, right? So I really wonder how it's going to go. But I'm glad to see this card back. I want to see if it does an impact. I don't think it will at the current moment in time, but it might. Blackwings are still pretty, they're not a deck to sleep on. And they will, for sure, overpower someone who doesn't understand how they work. If you have a skilled pilot... Say it again?
That would be me.
Yeah. No, don't say that. As the great Yu-Gi-Oh player said, reading is fundamental. Like, but I think it'll be okay. But yeah, Steam, I'm interested to see how far it goes.
How far it goes. Bastille going to 1. I thought this was going to be coming later and maybe like from 3 to 2 to 1. So this caught me off guard and I have to actually remove one from my side deck.
Yeah, I same. I thought it would go down to 2 or something, but then again, like this card, like most people who are running it, are they running more than 2 copies?
That's a good question. I haven't looked. I I think some people are playing 3, but I think probably 2/3 or half are definitely running 2 copies, right?
Yeah, it does mess up some people's deck for sure. Really good card. When they were made, I was really salty. I'm just like, wow, great cards that are gonna be used against me.
Yeah, well, I thought they want to keep this in the format forever. Like, people playing 9 Bystials in their main deck or, side deck to go against something like Terraments, but...
I feel like, truthfully, there's little to any... If the manga that just came out is an indicator, cute girl cards that can sell. That's what they want to keep in the format forever. Sky Strikers is the clue. That's what they want to keep in the format. Cute girl waifu cards that are powerful, skillful cards, bring a lot more people into the game and can sell a lot more merchandise.
Yep, well, I'm happy they kept one, and you can still play it against dark decks, or you can use it in Dragon Links, because it's just a good card that lets you search stuff and get an extra body on the board.
True. Dragon Links are IP.
So, we talked about this card. I was debating whether to buy or not, but, do you think this Xyz monster at 1 is going to really have any impact?
Possibly. But I really, like, it's really good.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
It's
ban
really,
worthy, right?
really good. Yeah. It's, like, I feel like 1, 2, or 3, it's really good. I think it will probably, if people still use it at 1 in competitive games, which they probably will, it will probably find its way on the ban list later. Maybe not right away. It'll probably survive at least 3 formats. Because I think the game's going to transfer a little bit. But this card right here, it's a goodbye for now. But it will definitely have its time to say goodbye. But it's a really good card. I don't see this card ever going back to 3.
We'll see in the future.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll go to our next 2 hits, which are the Terramint cards. I was not expecting that they would have like 4 cards on the ban list. It seems appropriate just to hit 1 at a time, I thought, but...
I'm going to say an unpopular opinion. Yes!
Go for it.
Yes! Goodbye! Like,
oh, no, I'm so happy they're gone, dude.
Like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting them to hit as many cards in the deck as possible, but thinking about what the cards do, you need to hit consistency as much as possible. And if you're dumping cards to the graveyard and things like that, like, just hitting 1 isn't enough. Like, you'd have to do a lot, like, as far as percentages and ratio-wise, to impact, like, what's a good example of a deck that goes through at least 5 cards at a time? What's it? Emancipators. Like, if you want to hit a deck, like, you have to kind of neuter things. Like, decks that either mill or excavate a lot, in order to hurt them, you kind of have to, like, almost shut them down. Because, like, the ratio of getting something to continue a line of play with a deck is really high with multiple copies of cards that kind of do basically the same things. I saw this coming. I mean, I would be surprised if people were surprised that this type of hit happened, because they're really broken, like, in the best way that you could possibly have a deck that mills and fuses from the graveyard. Like, awesome deck, and I'm glad you're going away.
Yeah, I mean, I hate playing against it, so...
You said what?
It's not fun to play against it, so I get that.
Yeah. I can imagine being the pilot of it. It would be awesome. But yeah, on the receiving end, not at all. I'm like, bro, how do you do so many things? It's my turn. I shouldn't say that. I do that on people's turns, too.
Bro, I thought Eldritch played a lot on my opponent's turn, and it does nothing compared to this deck.
Yeah. This thing snowballs like no tomorrow, and the graveyard effects are really, really powerful. They should make a quick play, what's that card called? Banish 5, up to 5 cards. Soul Release, a quick play Soul Release just for this. Get them all out, so by the time their effect resolves, they're banished, so they can't even, or by the time it's the next chain for them to activate in the grave, they're banished. Just get out.
Yeah, but the thing,
yeah.
that's what the Shuzu cards are for, just chain and then bounce them back into the deck.
Oh yeah, that's true. Those
Well,
are
don't
also
worry.
pretty cool.
You'll be seeing this deck again soon on Master Duel, so...
That is true. They'll get their chance to shine. But Master Duel's really, well, I wouldn't say really fast, because there's a few cards in there that shouldn't be in there, but they're still in there. But they're starting to pick up pace on limiting cards and restricting cards as they come in.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
All right, for our next and final limits, I thought this was way too early to limit these cards.
Yes. Our level 7 gods. Yeah, I feel like compared to Terra Lament, I feel like they should get their chance to shine. But they're really awesome, and I think that the issue is that they're so good in archetype and out art, like they're so splashable. Like they're really like any they became like Pankratops 2.0 and what's the other one? I can't remember the name right now, but Beast special summons, you can bounce back to you.
Yes.
Like they've replaced those cards, and they do so much because not only do they bring themselves on the field and they get effects, you can also search card, like they're good. They're just really good. Really great card designs, and they got punished for being so good in a lot of decks outside of archetype.
I can't believe it can search itself. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, like they literally took a few cards and splashed together with what's it called? Is it Fairy Tale? It is Fairy Tale, right? You normal summon and you can search a copy and then bounce the card back.
I was gonna say Aluda.
Yes. They really splashed a few cards together and made these spicy cards. But yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, in archetype, there are bananas as well. Completely going for rank 7s all day, locking you out of your zones. Really interesting. Or milling you to death. Like, I like them. But yeah, being splashable in other decks were what give them their demise. For sure. Yeah,
I'll miss playing it, but I won't miss playing against it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're at 1. It's not like dead. It's not. They're not that dead. Like you can probably run 1 as like a like I was saying before, like a Pankratops, just that one nice little spot remover.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right.
So it has some small use cases. What happened?
For our last limited card, Ancient Fairy Doragon.
Oh, a card I used to LOVE. I used to love this card. Like, a long time ago, I would just, like, have, what's it called? Debris Dragon. It's a wind level 4 dragon. Special summons a level 3 or lower monster from your graveyard to the field. You can only synchro into dragon. That's one normal summon into Ancient Fairy Dragon. I know I'm just saying, like, one small way to summon it. There's, like, so many different ways to bring this guy out. But it was such a great card. Coming back, I was shocked. But the errata it's really useful, but I don't think it stops the play of the card. Being able to nuke both players' field cards, gain 1,000 for each, and then searching one from your deck with a different name, changing it to a different name and making it once per turn. The once per turn I think was already there, but changing it to a different name, I don't think it stopped much at all. But I don't know if it's going to get a lot of play because synchros as a whole aren't a thing right now. So I don't know if it's going to be something that will be impactful. I'm glad that it's back. It sucks that it's an errata, but I think it's one of those cards that are really amazing but might actually be outclassed. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, any deck that can play multiple field spells, like you can pop your own chicken game and search for your in-house field spell, right?
Yeah, like, and that's another cool thing with I like that you brought that one up. That's a really cool interaction where you have it. You can activate Chicken Game, lose 1,000 to draw a card, then destroy the Chicken Game to gain back the 1,000 that you lost. So you never lost any. It's basically a upstart with no cost, and then get another search on top of that. You get to search and draw, and searching a field spell, that's pretty powerful. So, yeah, really great interaction.
Welcome back to the game.
Yeah, welcome back.
Now let's go to our banned cards, the cards I'm so happy. For the record, I never really played against Flundery, so I didn't mind Barrier Statue, but definitely the Terrell Mist card was just too good.
Yeah, actually when I saw the list, I think you sent it to me first, and when I saw it, I laughed when I saw purple at the top. I'm like, I know what that is. Like, I didn't even open the message fully, and I was laughing just on the color of the card. I'm like, I know what it is. I know I got touched, and I knew it's gonna happen. I was just surprised a little bit, but I was like, it was gonna happen anyways. You guys were gonna get touched. But R.I.P. I'm not sure when you'll be back. Terra Laments, I think your reign has stopped a little, or a lot. And yeah.
Well,
I'll pour one out.
It's so weird for the Terrelman card, because when I think of like a banned card, I think of a card that's like repressive, right? Like True King of All Calamity, or like other cards like that. But this card isn't oppressive by itself. It just facilitates the rest of your combos and just keeps the ball rolling. Exactly.
And that's the thing that, like, Konami was just going for the consistency of Terra Laments 100%. Like, I mean, the deck on its own, like, most of all the cards don't do, like, a lot of devastating things on their own, but together they can very consistently, like, extremely well. You get something to the graveyard, it might be the last... That's you have 3 turns at max after that. Like, they're really consistent. Excuse me. But yeah, they're really consistent, and that's where you have to hit them. And what better card to hit than that? And the other 2 that were touched on the list, I think Konami hit the cards. They knew exactly where to hurt Terra Laments to bring them down from their tier, well, most people say tier 0 status back to like a the normal table.
Yeah.
Table 3. But yes. And you said you never played against Flunderies before, right?
Well, they've never summoned this against me. I only see the Barrier Statue when I play against Lyralist Tri-Brigades.
Oh, ooh, okay. Yeah. Tri-Brigades are another cool deck. I like them. But okay, so it's funny too, like, Barrier Statues have been around forever, right? Like, every single one, there's one for each element. And the only one that has been searchable, like the most searchable, has been the wind. And it's interesting how most of them are not so deadly because of the attributes. Like a lot of people, if you put a dark statue on the field, they're just going to be like, okay, thanks. Like, it's not going to stop me, really. Or if you put light, some decks as well, they'll be like, okay, that's cute. Like, light and dark are the most used, but like earth and wind are the least used. So they will be the most impactful. And add the fact that you can search them. Like, it's insane. Like, I think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing that it can do that. And for that reason, it's banned. Searching this card and telling your opponent no wind, no visa, like, no. Like, that's insane.
I mean, OCG just banned Vanny's Emptiness just this year, so...
Yeah. And that's interesting, right? Because TCG has banned it before, and, like, OCG... But it didn't have as much... Like, like, in all the tournaments I've went to, I've seen it here and there. Like, there's only like a few, I forgot what they're called. There's a few tournaments that, like, that Hayat, is it called Hayate? the Haite tournament or Hayate. You know what I'm talking about? No.
Nope.
Like there's tournaments that they have in Japan. Like they're like unofficial
Oh, the big
YCSs.
tournaments? Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is the I can't say the name. Hayate, not Hayate, but Haite or something like that. It sounds almost like Haiti, but the pronunciation is different. But yeah, like I've seen it there. Like when I was going there, like I've seen it a lot there with those players. But Japan as a whole, I haven't seen it that much. But then again, OCG is not just Japan, and a lot of the other countries like China and Korea definitely run them a lot more than I see in Japan. But when I went to those tournaments, which had a lot of international, or at least people in OCG that's outside of Japan, a lot of them had it. And so those type of tournaments are, noticed by Konami as well, even though they're not Konami official tournaments. And so it had it coming in OCG. But yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time for this amazing discussion video.
Yes. My pleasure. If I didn't
Any
rant
last
off,
comment?
sorry, everybody. You said what? A comment?
Yeah. Any last comments?
No. See you guys on the next BANLIST. Let's see
All right.
what happens.
All right. Take care, guys. Peace.
Bye.